Okay.
Okay. Our group selected the Rocky Mountain Wolf Project. My name is Gretchen Smith, and I'm here with Jack Kellogg and Max Spencer. For the table of contents, we will be going over the Rocky Mountain Wolf Project and their campaign. We will discuss the target audience and the communication objective of campaign and their support and behavior change, as well as strategies with messaging framing, environmental education, behavior change, building trust, and combating misinformation. And then we will end with recommendations in our conclusion. And now we will watch the campaign video.
There's a chorus we sing here in this place, Colorado. It rings from the Maroon Bells to Mile High, from the great sand dunes to the highest town in America. In the birthplace of rodeo and the cheeseburger, where snowmelt flows into every glass. We hear it floating on the breeze above Red Rocks or drifting way out into the backcountry where the wild things roam and the air hums with life. It's our anthem to freedom. But listen carefully. One voice has gone missing. A note that rang through our mountains for eons has disappeared. Help us return this voice to Colorado.
And our target audience. So for who our audience is Coloradans and Colorado landowners, conservationists, ecologists, and wildlife biologists, and hunters and ranchers. So from the week 3 of lectures, we learned that identifying your outreach and choosing your target audience is a vital aspect of the planning framework for outreach and behavior change. Our audience is relatively homogeneous by geography, age and gender, political affiliation, attitudes, and beliefs. We decided this as it is mainly targeted towards Coloradans and people involved in ecology and wildlife and hunters. And this demographic behavior support is necessary for the greatest impact through their campaign. And next I will pass it off to Max.
Awesome. So I'm going to talk about the communication objectives for the campaign. And so the point of the Rocky Mountain Wolf Project was to aim to improve the understanding of gray wolf behavior, ecology, and reestablishing the species in Colorado. This aims to engage Coloradans on coexisting with wolves, as well as ways to mitigate effects on hunters, ranchers, and others who are concerned about the wolves' impacts. Behavior the campaign is hoping to change, enthusiasm on wolves returning to Colorado. The website has resources on donating, learning, and sharing, and their unique blog where they share on conservation, ecology, natural history, and research regarding the gray wolf. And so regarding some strategies that discussed in the campaign regarding messaging framing and building trust, the campaign effectively frames the messages for the wolf reintroduction. This is done by suggesting that the wolves are as much a part of Colorado as the Great Sand Dunes and Red Rocks. This appeals to the audience and builds trust by using the Colorado scenery and wildlife to appeal to the audience, making them feel involved and empowered. From week 4 of the 5 research-based practices for framing messages, emphasizing the present and framing messages to appeal to the values of the audience are their main efforts. Regarding environmental education, the campaign could provide much more in terms of environmental education. The website mentions a few locations and animals in Colorado before suggesting that wolves should be reintroduced, without providing insight into why the wolves were removed in the first place and the potential impacts that reintroducing them could have. Although there are some educational aspects throughout the website, they could do more to increase environmental education and awareness to their audience. I'm going to pass it off to Jack now.
Next, I'm going to talk about the behavior change strategy. In our opinion, the campaign does a great job of reinforcing behavior change. They do so in many different ways. The first is on their Instagram. They post a lot about voting, how to vote, where to vote. They even have a hashtag yes on 114. Their goal is to influence their audience to vote yes on 114, which would be the prop to reintroduce wolves. They talk about when they have to vote by and just really encourage to vote. They had links available so you could learn more about it and stuff like that. They also really encouraged the sharing and reposting of their media in order to spread the word. They even have a few posts dedicated to all the ways people can help out and what they can do. And they just talk about donating, sharing, and voting. Moving on to their website talks a lot about donation. It talks about where the money's going to go, and it really encourages to donate. They have a direct link that serves as an avenue to donate. They make it super easy to enact change, and they really support and encourage that behavior that they want to see in their audience, which I think is super important. Their site also talks about sharing the message through their blog, and they just have so many different ways they're telling their audience to go make a change and really encouraging that change in behavior. Moving on to the combating misinformation strategy, we thought they did an okay job. Where they do address it, they do a great job. In their blog, they have a Q&A section where they list the different doubts about wolves, and they kind of create a rebuttal for all those points. And they have different articles devoted to each counterpoint to their argument to reintroduce the wolves, so they're able to combat all of those points and disprove them in a way and prove why reintroducing the wolves actually doesn't cause those problems. Problems like people are worried that the wolves will interact with livestock and hurt people, and they talk about how rare that is and how it's just not going to be a prevalent factor, and that's really not something we should be worried about. I wanted to include a few of the visuals of the different strategies they're using to further their campaign. Up at the top right of this screen, you can see 3 different Instagram posts, starting with the one on the left. It's a post about the ways in which people can help the campaign and help further it. The first way that they talk about is signing the petition. The second they talk about is sharing the message and reposting and things like that to spread their mission and spread their information that they want Coloradans to know about the wolves. And then they also talk about chipping in and donating and helping out in a monetary way in order to further their campaign. That second Instagram post, they talk about voting. They have their hashtag yes on 114, which is super important. They want people to go out to the polls. They want people to vote on this, and they want people to bring back the wolves in that way, because that's the way we ultimately bring back the wolves. Lastly, it's just a general bring them home pick on the far right. Just kind of talks about how this is part of wolves' home and wolves are part of Colorado, and it's super important that we bring them back. Below those posts, I have a little blog post that they had. Talks about how the wolves impact our ecosystem. It's a way of informing their audience exactly why the wolves would be great to bring back and what impact they would have on the ecosystems of Colorado, and really just how big of a deal that would be to Colorado. And it's a cool way to inform people with those blog posts. They're a good read and anyone can digest them easily, so that's really cool. Lastly, I wanted to talk about on the far left there, the how to take action button on their website. It's a direct avenue to donate. Talks about making a difference, which people love making differences, and I think that'll encourage people to donate. But that's just an quick and easy donate button there that I think makes it way easier for people to help out in that way. Finally, we wanted to talk about our recommendations in conclusion. What we saw is that they have a great influence online. Their website's incredible. It has a great interface. It shares great information, has great call to actions, and really just does about as good a job as you could do, in our opinion. And their social medias do a great job as well of spreading the message and telling people how to make a change. What we did see, though, is that's kind of where their influence ends. We didn't see a lot of paper trail. We didn't see a lot of physical advertisements and spreading the word that way. brochures, signs, stuff like that. The only place you can really find them is online, which is great if you're Gen Z, Gen X, millennials, but for older generations that aren't as active online and aren't probably finding their website or probably aren't on Instagram, you're losing a lot of your older audience. So we think that the Colorado Wolf Project could do better creating more of a campaign that maybe caters to the older generations that would see a pamphlet before they'd see a website. And maybe creating that could help their cause and help them build voters. We also talked about how in week 7 we discussed the constructivist learning theory and kind of talking to children about the message at hand and getting them on board and educating them on wolves and how they impact the environment and how the environment's important, and just really focusing on those younger generations because they are our future. And most kids age under 13 aren't on Instagram, they aren't scrolling the web, so better reach them in the classroom or at their schools, just really educating them on the issue. And I think this can be something that kids can get excited about. I mean, wolves are a really cool animal. Small kids love animals, and talking about how they impact the environment could be really important. And I think that's something that the Colorado Wolf Project could look into doing. We found, though, that the Rocky Mountain Wolf Project has a clear target audience and communication objective. They do a great job of telling you exactly what they're about, and overall their campaign is it's really beautiful, and they did a great job. And we did think that they could improve their justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion by informing both those younger generations and older generations, by hosting campaign events outside of social media and outside of their website. Creating more call to actions could also help with those principles. Not many people have the means to donate, so really hammering home the different ways people can help that aren't just giving up money. I think they could talk about voting a little bit more. They could talk about sharing the message a little bit more, because sometimes it seems like they talk mostly about donating. So just focusing on that and including everyone, even if they don't have the means to donate. Lastly, Gretchen, Max, and I just wanted to say thank you for listening. Thank you for paying attention. Thank you for watching our video. We'll see you all next time. And lastly, here are our references.